I am Socrates. Allow me to ask you something. Is a society that treats LGBTQ people as special truly kind? Is that kindness a salvation for you, or is it a new curse? I have silenced many in Athens by questioning them because they thought they knew something, yet knew nothing. The same applies to the era you are living in. Society shouts about diversity and says, protect LGBTQ. But under those words, do people truly understand what diversity means? When you came out as LGBTQ, you might have been showered with phrases like you were brave and I support you. It might have seemed like kindness. But does that kindness truly set your soul free? I have seen it. People who say I support you, while treating you like a fragile object. A society that brandishes majority justice under the guise of understanding. Even within the community, peer pressure that competes for the correctness of coming out. Young people who lose themselves every time they're told to be free, wondering how they should act. Even so, will you continue to cling to society's kindness? Let me tell you this, the moment society treats you as special, you will forever be labeled as a special being. Under the guise of respecting diversity, you will always be distinguished as an alien existence. Isn't that discrimination? If you disagree, then I ask, don't you wish to be seen simply as a human being? I have come today to place a question within you. When you close this video, will you continue living, relying on this kind society as before, or will you choose to continually question your own soul? You will be faced with this choice. Miha must have desired to be understood. She must have thought countless times, I want to be understood. She must have believed that a society acknowledging diversity was the right path. But here, I must assert this. The desire to be understood often betrays you. I am Socrates. Do you know of me? Once, in the city of Athens, I asked people, what is goodness? What is justice? What is virtue? No one could answer. It was because they were unaware of their ignorance. Now I ask you, what is a kind society? Is being understood truly synonymous with happiness? In the city square, I questioned slaves and aristocrats, young boys and old men alike, to dismantle their comfortable certainties. Now it's your turn. Society says, let's protect LGBTQ. Did those words bring you comfort? Did you feel pride? Yet on the other hand, did you not feel a sense of suffocation? When people around you say, we support you, did you ever feel like you had to become someone who deserves support? In a society that repeatedly says, diversity is important, did you feel the need to act correctly as a representative of diversity? Is that truly what kindness is? I promise you this. I will continue asking this question until the end, until you think for yourself, until you decide for yourself, until you have the resolve to live your own life. My question is not gentle, but this question will save you. By the end of this dialogue, you will no longer be able to take refuge in a kind society. The society you live in might seem at first glance like an era that embraces diversity. Let's create a society where LGBTQ individuals can live as their true selves. Let's build a world without discrimination. Politicians, companies, and influencers all say this in unison. Hearing it, you might feel a glimmer of hope. However, from the moment you find solace in those words, the questions within you begin to fall asleep. I ask you, has this society truly changed? Many still live in fear, unable to come out. They can't tell their families or workplaces and just pretend to be normal. Are you not the same? Behind the calls to be yourself and be free, does society understand how frightening it is to be yourself and how lonely freedom can be? Furthermore, discrimination exists even within the community. Differences in worth arise based on whether you're transgender or gay. Hierarchies are formed based on appearance or behavior. There's an atmosphere where not performing as expected makes you stand out. Is this understanding society such a convenient illusion? I am Socrates. When people believed something to be good, I always raised questions. What is goodness? What is justice? What is freedom? Now I pose the same questions to you. Is the good that society speaks of becoming words that bind you? Is the word support fixing you as someone who needs support? Is the message to live as your true self becoming a voice that denies the version of you that can't be true? Though they say we live in an era of diversity, is this diversity truly for you? Or is it merely a banner to satiate society's own good intentions? I ask you, will you continue to live amid this false kindness? Or will you keep questioning your own soul and have the courage to face it all without the anesthesia of kindness? Because you're LGBTQ. Because it's a time of diversity. How many times have I heard those phrases? At school, handouts titled, "Let's deepen our understanding of LGBTQ" are distributed. At work, diversity promotion departments are established and rainbow flags are displayed. On social media, posts saying, "It's okay to be yourself" receive numerous likes. At first glance, these scenes may seem like a kind society. But doesn't your heart ache within this kindness? Every time you're told, "It's okay to be yourself," do you feel the need to hide your insecurity about whether you can truly live as you are? Every time someone says, "I understand," with a smile, do you not feel suffocated being on the understood side? Does the phrase "live authentically" not create a fear that you might be excluded unless you align with society's expected authenticity? Modern society claims it's an era of diversity. But isn't this diversity trying to find comfort by placing labels and seeing LGBTQ people as special? In a society that applauds people who come out with a "thank you for telling us," those who struggle in silence remain. Even when you talk to your family and they say, "We accept you," there might still be a lingering sense of discomfort in the family. Even within a community, there are evaluations based on appearance and behavior where you feel the need to perform likable or authentic characteristics to be accepted. Amid voices saying LGBTQ should be free, are we pretending not to notice the creation of another cage labeled LGBTQ identity? It may seem like society has changed, but has it truly changed? You must confront this question yourself. The kindness others offer can sometimes be toxic. The understanding society provides can sometimes fix you in the position of a weaker individual. How will you live within that reality? Behind the voices saying it's a more livable era, there's you struggling with the question, why is it still hard to live, even though it's supposed to be easier? Society offers a simple answer. It's okay to be yourself. However, whether that phrase truly saves you is something only you can know. Will you immerse in the kindness of this era? Or will you continue to question and, despite the pain of being torn apart, choose for yourself? This is the question posed to you living in this era. I ask you this. Do you want to be treated specially because you are LGBTQ? Or do you want to live without being treated specially? A kind society says, "It's okay, you're just fine as you are." But that very voice keeps placing you on the side of being always understood. The moment someone says with a smile, "Thank you for saying that," you find yourself compelled to play the role of the brave one. In front of those who claim to understand, are you unconsciously behaving as a good representative who deserves understanding? What happens if you refuse to be understood? Have you ever seen someone's expression change when you say, "You don't need to understand," after they tell you, "I will understand"? When you reject the notion that because you're LGBTQ, you should be protected, have you been met with righteous words like, "But discrimination is wrong"? You are constantly being questioned. Do you wish to be someone who needs protection? Or do you wish to refuse even that protection and stand on your own? But this is not an easy question. When you refuse to be protected, solitude might become your companion. You will have to quell the urge to be understood all by yourself. If you wish to be treated specially, you become bound by your specialness. Society's goodwill can become chains that imprison you. Which will you choose? The security gained from being protected, or the freedom that comes with embracing solitude? Moreover, let me pose yet another question. To what extent do you believe in your LGBTQ self? By labeling yourself in a certain way, are you closing off your own possibilities? By repeatedly saying, because I'm gay, because I'm trans, are you not avoiding the responsibility of explaining yourself to society? What remains within you might be contradiction, the pain of clashing desires to be understood and not understood. But to continue questioning while bearing that pain, isn't that what living authentically means? To become someone merely protected, or to choose the freedom of rejecting protection? There's suffering no matter which path you choose. But without the resolve to bear that suffering, your soul will never be free. This is the dilemma I present to you. The future will be easier to live in. When someone says that, do you feel hopeful? Or does anxiety and doubt pierce your heart? Society promotes diversity. Laws are being put in place, and more people are coming out. Rainbow flags fill the streets, and companies showcase their support for LGBTQ rights. Schools are advancing diversity education. Yet, in the midst of this scene, has your loneliness vanished? Technology has advanced. AI monitors discriminatory remarks, and we live in an era where voices are made visible on social media. But has this technology truly set you free? Let me ask you, why does life still feel difficult in a society that is supposed to be easier to live in? Believing the future is bright is easy. However, facing the possibility that this brightness is merely a facade is painful. Even within the LGBTQ community, the demand for stereotypical expressions becomes an unspoken pressure. Why not stand proud? Just be yourself. Society supports you, so there's no need to hide. Behind these words lies a new form of correctness that dictates how you should be. The fears, loneliness, and uncertainties you carry do not disappear, no matter how much society changes, because simply changing society cannot break the inner cage within you. The future is not something given to you. The notion that if society changes you will be free is a sweet poison. What will free you is not a changing society, but your continued questioning. Only those who keep questioning can choose their future. Is this society truly kind? Am I not becoming complacent with this kindness? Is this freedom the freedom I desire? The bridge to the future is not built by others. It is each step you take, carrying your questions and hesitations, that forms the bridge. Do you have the resolve to cross that bridge? When you turn off the room lights and lie down in bed at night, what quiet question lingers within you? On your way back from a late-night convenience store run, when you remove your earphones and silence envelops you, whose face comes to mind? You don't have to hide anymore. It's okay to just be yourself. Live as you are. Somewhere within, you want to be saved by those words, yet find them hard to trust. As if what's been elusive all along is almost within your reach, while a voice inside tightens your chest, asking, "Is this really okay?" There might be nights when the kindness society offers wraps you like a warm blanket. But sometimes, that blanket may lull your questioning to sleep. Questions are painful. What does it mean to live authentically? What does being free truly entail? Is it possible to live not as a protected being, but simply as oneself? Societal voices, family gazes, friends' encouragement, community expectations, your own voice. All these layers overlap, and in your core, a scream without words echoes in the silence. I can only continue to question. Yet it's only by continuing to question that you can awaken. Is this truly okay? Only you, with that question, can resist being domesticated by society and begin walking toward a life well lived. There are voices you can only hear in silence. In the stillness of a solitary night, the question, "Are you really okay with how things are?" whispers into your ear. Don't flee from that question. Whether you're laughing, crying, or when you no longer feel like laughing, I hope you continue to hold on to that question. That is the truth that silence speaks. Simply questioning can be painful. Questions tear at your heart and isolate you. However, the moment you abandon questions, your soul dulls and falls asleep. To just live, you don't need questions. But if you wish to live well, questions are necessary. Yet to continue questioning, you need the courage to choose your path again. The path of raising your voice. You've likely lived wanting to be understood, finding comfort, yet also fatigue in being the one understood. At times you need to express the small voice of, "It's okay if I'm not understood." Instead of assuming you must be understood, do not fear being misunderstood and choose your words. That voice will be your first shield in protecting yourself. The path of letting go of being protected. Being protected is a sweet fruit, but that sweetness keeps you bound as a weakling. When you let go of the notion that society should protect me, you may find yourself facing anxiety and loneliness. Yet that loneliness strengthens you. It becomes practice for standing on your own without leaning on others' goodwill. 3. The path of continuous questioning in daily life. A question doesn't end once posed. When talking with family, working at a company, posting on social media, and when giving up something, ask yourself, are these my chosen words? Is this my chosen action? Continuously questioning in your daily life strengthens your soul and keeps it sharp. 4. The path of embracing the wisdom of ignorance. Do not fear saying, "I don't know." Questions like, what is freedom? What does it mean to live authentically? What does it mean to live well? Don't have straightforward answers. Carrying these unanswerable questions while continuing to walk makes you a continuously thinking human, and one who is not swayed by others' words. Within the kindness that society suggests, you can rest, but that rest kills your soul. If you wish to live well, walk while questioning. Do you live to be understood, or do you choose to be yourself even if misunderstood? Do you wish to be protected, or do you wish to stand on your own even without protection? You can choose your path anew, starting today. I wonder how you feel as you listen to this voice now. I know how arduous and heavy it is to be told, keep questioning. Questions don't guarantee answers. They might not offer comfort and could lead to more sleepless nights. Yet those very nights are proof that your soul is awake. Society tells you it's okay to be who you are. Live authentically. Stay free. While these may seem kindly, they often drown out the question, am I truly okay with this? I don't want you to forget that question. In the silence of the night, when you see your reflection in the train window, when you close your social media and a moment of silence arrives, the questions should whisper deep within you. Who am I? How do I want to live? In this kindness, am I truly awake? Is this really okay? Living with questions is never easy, but that hardship is proof that you are truly alive. It makes your soul stronger and freer than being understood or protected by others. There will be nights when you're too weary to question, when you just don't want to think anymore. In those times, just take a deep breath and remember that you still have the courage to possess questions. I cannot answer your questions. The questions are yours. Only your questions can set you free. I hope these questions continue to resonate quietly within you. Until now, you've been questioning, is a society that treats LGBTQ people specially truly kind? That question must have pained you. That question might have reminded you of your loneliness. But as long as you hold on to that question, your spirit will not rest. The desire to be protected is natural. The wish to be understood is not wrong. However, choosing whether to rest within that kindness and understanding or to keep questioning beyond that kindness is up to you alone. Society has changed, but merely changing society doesn't erase the difficulties you face in life. Only the question within you can forge your path. There's only one thing I wanted to convey. Keep questioning, continue to inquire. To keep questioning is to embrace suffering. Yet it's within that suffering that you find freedom. This is my final question to you. Are you prepared to live with this question? If this voice has touched a part of your heart, please continue questioning. And if you're willing, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this question in the comments. As a fellow questioner, I'm eagerly awaiting your words. The question doesn't end here. Even after you close this video, as you walk down the street at night, and after you put your phone away before sleeping, the question will continue to quietly tremble within you. Is a society that treats LGBTQ people specially really kind? There is no easy answer to this question. There will be nights when you'll wish to be protected, and days when being protected feels burdensome. Sometimes the desire to be understood might never fade. There may be moments when you feel you don't need to be understood. That uncertainty is your very life. My voice may stop here, but the question will continue within you. If you want, share what you're feeling in the comments. It's painful to live with this question. I don't understand the meaning of continuing to question. I feel like I'm starting to see my own answer. Any words will do. As a fellow holder of this question, I am waiting for your voice, and I hope to continue the dialogue with you, bringing another question along. Subscribe to the channel so we can continue the dialogue to keep questioning together.